Hey everybody. Today is Sunday, November the 29th, 2020. And it's been 5 years since I lost my husband, Colin Stephen Smith Sr. I think every year I probably take some time to reflect and think about him, thinking about my life with him, my life after him, and many times I get emotional because I think about the beautiful opportunity that I had to have met such a beautiful person, a beautiful soul, a loving person. Not only a loving person, but he had this unique confidence and humility about himself. He very much was a giver and a servant. And I met Colin when I was in college. And so we became college sweethearts, and we had our own share of run-ins and situations, and like any college couple. But we endured those challenges and decided to make a life together. So, as I said, I met Colin at North Carolina A&T State University. He was a student that had transferred, but had started attending the college from Connecticut, Windsor, Connecticut. And the funny thing is, I ran into him. He looked like he was looking for his class or somewhere to go. He had a map out. And so the kind of person I am, helpful and minding other people's business sometimes, I asked him, I said, hey, you look like you're lost. Look like you are searching for your class or something. And he was like, yes. And so just so happened he and I were going to the same class. And so I wasn't attracted to him at the time, but he and I developed a really nice friendship over the years. And it wasn't until probably the next school year we had another class together, and we had an opportunity to get to know each other a little bit more. And he started attending the campus Bible study that we had on campus. And so I grew to enjoy my time with him. And so I was like, oh my God, I think I like him. And so our relationship flourished, and we were able to marry right after college. And so we were married on February 29th, 2008. So we were married on leap year. So I thought that was pretty cool. We both thought it was pretty cool. And so we got married, had a little small wedding with a few family and friends. And afterwards we went to Bonefish Grill and had dinner with friends and family. And later that night went to a Jill Scott concert. And so if you know Colin, he loved music. A lot of people to this day, friends and family alike, accredit their music repertoire to Colin, because one thing about it, he loved music, and just like his dad, he would always beating on something and jamming to a nice good beat. And after marriage, he and I had the really great opportunity, a fun opportunity to DJ a lot of our friends' weddings. So anyway, fast forward. So November 29th was a night similar to the night. Not too cold, a little bit rainy. And he and I had just got home from getting the kids snacks for the week. And so we had just celebrated Thanksgiving probably 3 days prior. So we had enjoyed Thanksgiving together with friends. It was kind of and family. It was really, really cool because Thanksgiving was so chill. I mean, it was just like perfect. For us, we had been running so much throughout the whole year. We had really dealt with some serious challenges throughout the year, some that pertain to our kids. And so all we wanted was to chill. I remember I even went to Ollie's to get a blanket. And I was like, this is my Thanksgiving blanket. I'm under this blanket. I'm watching TV and I'm eating food, and that's it. No traveling, no nothing. So that night, Thanksgiving holiday, one of our friends brought Kalan a PS4. So, which was big back then, the whole PS4. So anyway, he was ecstatic. And so that night, we put the kids to bed. We ate dinner, then put the kids to bed. And so I convinced him to train me in NBA 2K 16. Can't remember. I think it was 16. So I convinced him to train me because in hopes that if his friends came over the house, he was like, man, you can't even beat my wife. And then I would kill him and smoke him in the game. So anyway, that was our whole little thing. And so he agreed to it. And he and I like to do when we play video games sometimes was do a little wager. And so I said, hey, listen, if I beat you, you got to wash dishes. And he was like, okay, all right, cool. If I beat you, you got to wash dishes. I was like, no problem. I mean, I'm probably going to do them anyway, so no problem. So, of course, he won. And so we decided to go upstairs to get ready for bed. And we're going to watch a little TV, per usual, nothing biggie. And so once we got upstairs, Kalan, he was standing up and started to have a seizure. And so, unfortunately, back in 2004, Kalan was in a very serious car accident where he sustained severe brain trauma. I mean, this accident happened actually on my birthday, January 25th, 2004. And at the time, we were dating and or friends. I don't know. It was complicated, believe me. And I remember getting the call from his mom that he was in this car accident and they didn't think he was going to make it through the night. And so I watched this man endure multiple surgeries, reconstructive surgeries, and learn how to walk and talk again, and how to, everything. I mean, I saw him do everything from doing a kid's toddler shape sorter, and and just personality changes, and it was crazy, just how much he had to endure. But he was a survivor. He fought through it, and through the grace of God, he made it. He made it through this car accident and was able to go through rehabilitation after that, and even to return to college and graduate college was a miracle. The fact that he's alive was a miracle. But one thing that after his accident, probably about 2 years later, he started having seizures. So for that night different was after he had the first seizure, he had another. But prior to that one, I was able to ask him, hey, had you been sick? Were you okay? Like, had you been feeling some kind of way? And, he responded with no, that he was feeling fine and just, and so, I told him just to rest and to, take it easy, and, we would work it out and deal with it in the morning if he still had problems. And usually that was typical. He would, if he had, he would recover well, and be fine the next day, or even shortly after that. So, but this is where it got unusual, was that he had two. He had a seizure back to back. So immediately I knew I needed to call the ambulance. And so I called the ambulance, and then I called one of our friends, and also deaconess from the church, and Shanita, and asked her to come over. Because I knew that more than likely we were going to have to go to the hospital. I wanted to. I knew that was like, we're going to the hospital. And so she arrived, and shortly after she arrived, or can't remember which one, the ambulance, I think actually the EMT arrived first. And as soon as they got to the top of the stairs, he started to have a third seizure. So immediately they started running vital signs, checking him, and they're asking me questions, and at the same time I'm answering those questions. I'm calling his family, letting them know, and my mom, and let them know that he's had a seizure, and then I had to call the EMT. He's at 3, and at this time we're in our bedroom. We're there on our bed. At this time our bedroom was kind of small, and we have, I can remember, if I close my eyes, I can remember at least 3 to 4 technicians in the room, and they're connecting him to the monitors, and started rubbing on his sternum. And so I'm starting to think, like, what is going on? And so I'm trying not to panic, and all the while I can think, and I asked him, I said, guys, can you, if possible, my kids are next door. They're right, when I tell you, they're right 2 steps, across the little walkway. And I asked him, kind of to keep it down, because I don't want them to wake up and see this happening to our father. So they decided at that time they were going to take him to the hospital. And so, I get my coat on, I got my purse on. I tell Shanita, hey, we'll probably be back by the afternoon if you don't mind staying. And or either I'll get somebody to relieve her. So, they take him downstairs. And so at this time I remember he has on shorts and no shirt. And so they take him downstairs, and he's out of it. But he's awake. And so as soon as we stepped outside onto the porch, he started to have another seizure. So at that time, I'm like, okay, this is crazy. And I'm praying, God, what is going on? What is going on? So they hurry up, and they tell me that they didn't want to give him certain medicine to stop the seizures, because of fear that it would stop his heart, slow down his heart, or I don't know. I can't recall exactly what they said, but at that time I know that they administered that medicine. So they put him in the ambulance, and they asked me, was I going to follow behind? I was like, no, I'm riding with you guys to the hospital. So I get into the front seat of the truck. They let me in. And I'm at this time I'm calling the family, letting them know, hey, we're on the way to the hospital. I'm gonna keep you guys posted. I'll let you guys know as soon as I know something. And I remember looking up as I'm on the phone. I look up in the rearview mirror, not rearview mirror, it's like a monitor that had a camera to the back of the ambulance. And I look into the monitor, and I see them doing chest compressions on him. Being that I had background in the medical field, I knew that meant that he was under cardiac arrest, and that they were doing life-saving procedures for him. And so I panicked. I panicked. I didn't know what to do. I remember jumping out of the truck, and I banged on the front door of my house and told Shanita, I said, I don't know. I was like, they're doing chest compressions. And as I'm looking from my window, and I'm looking straight ahead into the window of the ambulance, I see them pulling out an intubation tube, and I collapsed. Well, at least she said I collapsed. And I was like, and I got back up. She said I jumped right back up. And I jumped right back up, and I went right back into the ambulance, and I prayed. And let me tell you something. If prayers could have saved him, he would have survived. I prayed and I prayed and I pleaded. I pleaded with God. I said, God, please save my husband. Please, God, don't let him die. I cannot live without him. I cannot live. I can't do this alone. Lord,
tell me what's the vibe. Tell me what's the vibe. Tell me what's the vibe.